Good morning. Good morning. I tried to start this a little early because I haven't done YouTube streaming before. So I was like, I don't know if it's going to fully be okay. But I'm super excited. Thank you to everyone who's joining live and to everyone who will be watching the replay. I'm stoked. Hold on, let me put on some ambient music, child. Today it was the perfect day to start this stream because I don't know if you guys feel it, but this solar eclipse is like something out of a movie. It's a really, really powerful and strong energy. So I thought it was the perfect time to kick off this series. Thank you to everyone joining. Let me see. Maybe I can get some relaxing, gentle bird music going on in the background. Is that a vibe? Is that a little too much? Let me get a different one. That's a vibe. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to give it a few more seconds. A few more seconds, and we will hop back on. We will start. Let me know if that isn't too much, but good morning, everyone. I see people are like hopping in and out, so I don't know if that has anything to do with my connection, but this replay will be available to you if you want to come back to it, or I can email it to you or whatever it is that you need. But let me turn this up and we can get started. I'll give it like a couple more minutes. Grand Rising, good morning. I'm so glad you found it well. Cool. In the meantime, while I wait for like a couple more minutes, how has this new moon been treating you? It's like, honestly, I think we're at like the verge of when the eclipse is actually exact. I don't know exactly what time, but I'm so excited about it. It feels very good for me so far. Perfect. So before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Jazmin Kylene. Thank you to everyone who is joining. I am a spiritual counselor and a conscious media journalist, and I study the stars, study spirituality, and all of those good things. And this is a workshop that I've done for Ethel's Club, like for basically like 2 months straight. And obviously they like rotate, but I was so sad to not be doing it anymore because it was such a unifying and such a beautiful way to start the week that I was like, well, maybe I can just start hosting it on my own platform and seeing how that works. So if you showed up, if you donated even a quarter, I am so, so grateful. It truly means the world that I'm able to like just have people willing to share their mornings with me and to be able to do it in a way that's mindful and intentional. So without further ado, what we're going to do today, and if you're watching this live, thank you. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to discuss a little bit about what the astro weather is right now. Then we are going to do a bit of chakra work, which when I work with chakras, I typically work with like intentional journaling, some breath work, and then we're going to end with a powerful meditation. I just saw 333, so we are exactly where we need to be, people. I have some ambient noise in the background. Let me know if you can hear that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So let me think if there's any other housekeeping that I want to do. No, I think that's it. So before we even get into the astro discussion, I want to just ground ourselves by just taking a few deep breaths together. So wherever you are, please get comfy. And by the way, all you're going to need for this workshop is just comfy clothes and a journal if that's available to you, and just a straight spine and an open heart. So wherever you are, if you can just get comfortable, get rooted, get still, taking a deep, deep, deep breath in. Holding it at the top. And sighing it out. Taking one more deep breath in. Holding it at the top. Exhaling fully from the mouth. And just allow yourself to embrace some stillness. And let's root ourselves in the present moment. Not thinking about time or what's to come after this hour, but just this here right now. Feel the weight of gravity anchoring your body down, meeting with the earth beneath you that is supporting you. And as you're breathing, goes in and out naturally. Imagine the wind that blows through the trees being the same wind that fuels your lungs. Feeling deeply connected to the water that fills the ocean being the same water that makes up your body. Feeling the power in the palm of your hands. And the sensations of energy that course through your body. Taking one deep breath in, holding it, sighing it out. Perfect. Ready, you can add back some movements into your body. I wanted to allow us to find some sort of center before we get into the Astro Tea. So I hope you're all well, and feel free to leave anything in the chat if you want to share. But first and foremost, I don't know if you guys already feel this or already know this, but we are currently under the influence of a solar eclipse new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, and this is huge. So right now, the person in the background. Yeah, thank you so much. It's an ambient sound. I love it. But I don't know if you guys already feel the influence of this, but oh my gosh, this is a really, really, I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but I don't often use the word timeline shifting, but we are very much embedded in timeline shifting energy. So what I mean by this is that with this new moon eclipse and with the grand conjunction that's happening on the 21st that you've probably heard about all over social media, we are really in the midst of grand and total shift, not only on a collective level, but also on a personal level. And, I think when we crave so badly to see change in our society, we don't realize that we are our society. So the changes that happen within us will reflect what we experience externally and will reflect what we experience in our reality. So if you're signed up to my newsletter, you've kind of gotten already like a gist of what it is that I'm talking about. But if you haven't, basically, we are being activated to meet our purposes. Right now, I don't doubt that you probably are feeling very inspired and you want to take inspired action. You're probably feeling really creative. You're having all of these ideas for how you want to expel your energy, express your artistry, and all of those things. But you probably at the same time aren't really feeling called to work. You're probably not feeling called to go to an office or, if you're working from home, to wake up at a certain time and punch in. And that is because our DNA is shifting to a point where we're no longer resonating with outdated paradigms. And outdated paradigms is this capitalistic 9-to-5 lifestyle. We are moving towards communal living. We're moving towards serving our community and serving the people that can actually benefit from our purposes, as opposed to gifting it to the man, which is really important. And honestly, I can't stress it enough that our DNA and just our entire generation has been built for this era. we are the ones who are stepping into leadership roles. I didn't know something about it, feeling super pumped. Makes so much sense. Absolutely. This is a manifesting time, but right now, and I pulled cards for this, obviously. The first card I got is patience. And I think this really rings true to the fact that with the eclipses, we don't want to already start doing the manifesting work. I know I have my manifesting tea, but it isn't time to do the manifesting work. It is a time to get clear on what it is we want to manifest. This is a time of stillness. And this is a time of inner reflection. You know, the skies, it's at absolute darkest, right? So it's important that we relish in our shadows in a bit and get clear on, okay, who am I at my fullest potential? And make the plans to step into that instead of actually like doing the physical inspired action. And that's because eclipses, the energy with eclipses is a bit difficult to predict, a bit difficult to navigate. So you don't want to work with it on an action level, but rather on a planning and structured level. The other card that I pulled was base chakra, which is the root chakra card. And I think the reason why this came up is because I think we can be very much in our heads right now. We've had a lot of aspects with Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, so we can get into states of overthinking. And if you have found yourself to be in a state of overthinking, I think this card is indicative of like coming back to earth, making sure that you're coming back to your physical and tangible 3D routine that makes you feel rooted, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel present, that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed with maybe your own thoughts or the 100 scenarios that are going on in your mind. But this new moon in Sagittarius, especially under this eclipse, is pivotal for stepping back into our artistic purpose. How are we showing up as alchemists, as magicians, as the creators of our own reality and our expressions of self? You know, get clear on that and see how you can package that and root that in your purpose. I think right now is a beautiful time to make our passions our day jobs, you know, and of course there's room for both. There's room for, you know, what provides you structure, what provides you curiosity and abundance, but who's to say that you can't have a reality in which both are both, right? So it's getting clear on, you know, how am I going to package my service for the community in a way that fulfills me and does not fuel this like capitalistic culture that I no longer like energetically resonate with, and goes back to community. And that looks like supporting local businesses. That looks like promoting yourself. That looks like all of that. Let me see other notes that I have written that I really wanted. Yeah, it's all about inspired action, really connecting with our higher selves and listening to what our higher selves wants for us. Who are we at our fullest potential? Let me see what else. Yeah, so this is all about putting structure into what's existing within us. So I'm going to be talking about the Grand Conjunction, which is huge. I'm going to be talking about that next Monday, so feel free to join again then. But just to give you a little glimpse, you know, with the planet of Saturn, which is the planet of restriction, of discipline, I have her right here, well, him right here, but the planet of, you know, karmic cycles, meeting with the planet of Jupiter, which is abundance and blessings and manifesting and all of that, like expansive energy. They're both meeting in the sign of Aquarius. So this is like our push into the age of Aquarius that we've been hearing and talking about. And I'll give you tea on that next week. But with both of them meeting in the sign of Aquarius, one being so restrictive and the other one being so abundant, it's this idea of putting structure into our spiritual and inspired plans, putting structure into what actually fuels us, right? So if you want to manifest a new job or a new body, a new relationship, a new living environment, a new life for yourself, yes, know that that is divinely supported. But with Saturn coming in, it's like, well, what cycles do you need to break? Like, what have you still been doing that doesn't support the new reality for yourself? How are you actually going to take the steps towards doing it, right? Because you're the co-creator, right? So you need to trust that you're being supported and trust that these ideas are divinely gifted to you, but also know that you need to be showing up for yourself. Also know that there is work that you still need to be putting in. So that is what Saturn is saying, and I would advise you to heed to Saturn's advice. And yeah, just a lot of revelations and inspirations are going to be coming and unfolding, not just today, but over the course of the next 2 weeks, right? Lunar and eclipse cycles play out for the next 2 weeks. So if you recall back to 2 weeks ago when we had our full moon lunar eclipse, I don't doubt at all, and comment if this is something you've experienced, but not just on the lunar eclipse, but the 2 weeks following, there must have been some sort of illumination or some sort of illusion broken, right? You probably finally saw something for its true colors. You probably learned a truth about yourself. You probably learned a truth about somebody that you trusted and realized that they probably weren't being fully honest. You probably realized that maybe you don't feel comfortable in this environment, or you don't feel that you probably came to some sort of conclusion that something is no longer working. So with the shedding that came from that lunar eclipse, we're meeting with the solar eclipse, which is about, okay, how am I now going to construct a new reality in which that doesn't exist, in which I'm not subscribing to that energy anymore, and then building something new for myself. And this is all about how you are showing up for you and how you are showing up in these choices. Because even though we are collectively and personally shifting, it means nothing if you aren't showing up to it. You know, you can be presented with this brand new timeline that is incredible and amazing and supportive of your highest and greatest good. But if you're like, I'm more comfortable playing it safe. I don't really want to have that conversation, or I don't really want to start doing that. I'm too invested in this, or whatever the case may be, then you're just going to stay on that lower vibrational timeline. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's just the reality that you're choosing. So if you do want to show up, the universe is showing you what needs to go and what needs to come and replace it. It's just a matter of if you choose to. We are the change, we are the shift. So when we want to see these shifts on a political, on a government level, on a collective level, we need to start reflecting it. So us showing up in our purposes is not just important for us, but it's important for everybody else around us. Because if we all start to root ourselves in our personal truth, then society will be reflective of a true society, which obviously I think we all know we haven't been living in. We haven't been living in a true society. But if we all personally take that choice and take that step, we will experience it on that level. And doing things your way. I think what's really important right now is connecting to how we are unique expressions of self. If you are an actor, if you are a writer, if you are a mathematician, if you are an engineer, if you are a spiritualist, how you package and implement your gifts into the world is unlike how anybody else is going to do it. And it's really important that we are rooting ourselves in how we personally show up. Not comparing ourselves to anyone else, supporting everyone that is around us, right? Because we need each other to do this. And doing things your specific way. That is how you're going to be met with abundance. That is how Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of higher learning, of blessings, is going to bless you if it sees that you are showing up in your authentic expression, that you're not taking from anybody else, that you're not scared or comparing yourself to anyone else, but that you are actually honoring your genuine voice and your genuine gifts. So I thought with these energies and with these cards, that's the chakras I want to work with. So tap into your gifts more and get clear with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get really clear on it. This isn't, like I said, with the eclipses, you want to be careful with the action that you're taking. This isn't a time to like charge our crystals or like, start up a new business as I like start up this new series, but I felt very called to do this. But what I will say, and honestly, you can always honor your own divine inner intuition and wisdom, but the planets are there to work with you as long as you work alongside them. And right now we're really being called to get clear on who we are and who our expressions of self is. And above all else, getting clear on the purpose under what we're doing, right? You don't just do something to do it. So what is the collective purpose? How are you shifting the energy of the world, of whoever your clients are, when you are standing in your purpose? How does it serve the greater good? With this, obviously, once again, I'll talk about this next week, but with the Great Conjunction moving us into the age of Aquarius, it's very, very, very much having to do with like, fuck being ego-led, genuinely. Fuck being ego-led, fuck, doing things just to feed your own personal tank, right? Because it's important that we ask for our worth and we ask for the abundance that we deserve, but it's also important that we root ourselves in how is this making the world a better place? How is this helping anybody who gets to consume it? Just getting clear on that is how you're going to be divinely supported. And it doesn't have to be something that is so obvious. It doesn't mean like, oh, I'm a doctor, so I am saving lives. But, if you're a singer, you're bringing joy to someone who hears that song. So infuse it with as much good fucking energy as you can. If you're a writer, you're changing somebody's life when they see themselves in the words that you paint on the paper. If you are a spiritualist, you're helping lead the community and understanding how they can be empowered by self. It's all just a matter of perspective, but it's a matter of rooting yourself and being led by that why. Really be led by that why. And know that you are deserving of the financial abundance that comes alongside it. Money is not bad, but money should not be leading you. So I thought that with these energies, the 3 chakras that I thought were the most important to work with today would be the Crown Chakra, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra, which I'm wearing my sacral chakra tee. You can obviously buy these if you visit my website. But the reason why is because I know that our crown chakra is what connects us to our higher selves, and we're really going to be connecting with our higher selves under this lunar cycle. The solar plexus is how we show up, right? It's our action. It's our drive, which is really important. And then our sacral chakra is where we manifest it and where it's born into the 3D, which, root chakra came up, so I can kind of interweave it in. But how I choose to be intentional with chakra work is to do a little bit of journaling, and at the end we'll do chakra-related breath work. So I'm going to give you guys some prompts, and I'm going to write alongside you. Oh, my journal's right there. Okay, so I'll get it right after. But let's start with the crown, and then we'll go down. So, or should we start the other way? Let me think about it. I think we'll start with the crown. So the crown chakra, just to give you a preface in case you don't have any background knowledge on what chakras are. So the crown chakra is at the top of our head. It's purple, deep, 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 like vibrant royal purple, and it connects us to the ethers. Obviously, they say the lower 3 chakras is the self. It's what's connected to physical. The upper 3 chakras is what's connected to outside of us. And then the heart chakra is the bridge in between the spiritual and the physical. So when we're doing crown chakra, we're all the way in the clouds and the ethers. It's what's connecting us to whatever you deem God to be. So if you see God in the stars, if you see God in the trees and the numbers, if you see God as a bearded man, if you see God in angels, whatever it is that you see God as, that is where you are connected to. That's where you get those downloads. That's where you get those inspired actions. That's where blessings and all of those miracle moments happen. So when we're working with our crown chakras, not only are we connecting to divinity, but we're also connecting to our higher selves. And, we have this idea that our higher selves is, and I said this recently in another workshop, but we think that our higher selves is something that we have to become and we have to strive to be. But truthfully, we were born and will always be our higher selves. What disconnects us from our higher selves is the stuff that we put on top of it. So it's the fear, the anxiety, the ego, the attachments, So it's not a matter of becoming our higher selves, but rather getting rid of all those things we put on top of ourselves to connect back to self. Who is your higher self? So when you're connecting in your crown chakra to your higher self, you're essentially just connecting to the self that isn't tainted by fear and ego and just the lack of faith that you are capable and willing and divine and enough. So working with our crown chakra right now, the first prompt that I have is, who am I at my fullest potential? So really connect for these next couple minutes with your higher self and get clear on, who am I when I'm at the service of community and when I am not tainted by fear and ego and all of that. So for these next few minutes, we can journal on that while I get my journal. Perfect. I can type the question in the chat. Thank you. It means the world. For anyone who's just joining in, we are journaling. The prompt is in the chat. Who are you at your fullest potential? Journaling. And if anyone wants to share anything that's coming up in the chat, feel free to. One more minute. I want to just... And, really allow yourself to connect with who you are at your greatest expression of divinity, You want to close your eyes and just envision your highest self and see even what their energy feels like, what they look like, how they present themselves. Beautiful. Awesome. So some things that came up for me, I think when I'm at my fullest potential, I'm present. I think I feel the best. I am love. Absolutely, Garrett. I think that's beautiful. I am love. I wrote I am loving, but I think that's just the embodiment of love is in itself amazing. I'm expressive. I'm present. I'm confident. I'm curious. I think those are the versions of me. If you want to affirm them out loud, you absolutely can. You can always turn these into affirmations. Affirmations are really, really powerful for sort of training our subconscious to have a fruitful inner dialogue. So if you want to take some of the adjectives that may have come up for you and turn them into affirmations that you can work with on the daily when you want to connect to your higher self, I am confident. I am connected to all that is. I am abundant. I'm hopeful. I'm free, I'm curious, I'm expressive. Whatever naturally comes up and feels intuitive to you, write those down, affirm them out loud to yourself. And so moving down to our solar plexus, this is the energy center in our mid-abdomen. It's yellow. And I always say this is our Beyonce center. This is how we show up in the world physically. This is our action. This is our Mars. This is just not only how we see ourselves, but how the world sees us. And so it's important that when we are making these physical changes of self, that we come back to our solar plexus. And it's okay, well, if I'm making all these changes in my mind or in my spirit or in my heart, how am I showing it? How am I physically presenting it? So let's get clear on, how do you want to show up in the world? If you wrote down that you at your fullest potential is somebody who, is inquisitive or thoughtful, do you want to show up in the world as a teacher, as a leader? Get clear on who you are in the physical sense at your highest potential. I'll write that in the chat. How do you want to show up in the world? And for any of you who are familiar with the tarot, if there's any if there's any court card that you feel called to resonate or to identify your identity with, you feel like you're very Queen of Wands energy, or Queen of Cups, or King of Wands, King of Pentacles. You feel like the Empress or the Hierophant, identify with that. Maybe you can get clear on, the ways in which people will respond to you when they meet you. Do they think that you're kind? Do they think that you're warm and inviting and friendly? Do they think that you're powerful, that you're strong? What energy do you want to present when you walk into a room? Last minute. Any last thoughts that come up? And even if you want to say, I want to be beautiful, that is perfectly fine. Inviting and kind. Absolutely. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Perfect. All right. And once again, you can turn those into affirmations as well, I am radiance. I am a teacher. I am a leader. However you want to really affirm this self that you want to show up as is really imperative. And the last prompt, I want to invite us to bring our awareness to our sacral and our root chakra. I was just going to do sacral, but I think this morning with the root chakra card coming out, I think what it's saying is that we need to make sure that we're not living only in our heads, but also in the physical 3D tangible sense. So, our sacral chakras are energy centers where we manifest from, right? So this is where we actually create. This is where we give birth to projects and ideas and everything that feels divinely inspired. And our root chakra is how we physically experience it. So I think combining the two, we can just focus on this idea of how am I going to cultivate an environment that supports this self? If you want to be this all-encompassing, loving being, how are you going to shift your relationships? How are you going to shift your work situation? How are you going to actually show up and make space in your physical environment for this new reality? And I want you to be really, really, really intentional with how you journal on this, because like I said, we are to this moon, and this is exactly what this new moon is about. This new moon is about getting clear on how you are going to create the space and the environment for you to be you at your fullest potential, at service of the community, at service of society, at service of self, at service at true, authentic self. So let's get clear on what relationships do I need to end? What like new projects do I actually need to start? What like new routines and new cycles do I need to implement into my life? So let's get clear on that. I'll drop the third prompt in there. Prompt 3. Two. All right, that was a bit difficult to type, so. Okay, perfect. Third prompt is in the chat. And this is our last prompt before we go into some meditative breath work, and then we'll close out. But thank you. If you guys have been with me this far, it means the world to me. Thank you. Sorry if you hear a dog barking over at the auntie. Oh, sorry. Oh gosh. There we go. You know, really be honest and really get clear with, you know, what is no longer resonating with this this experience of your highest possible potential. If it's certain relationships, you know, be honest with yourself about that. If it's self-implementing cycles, you know, be honest about that. Last few minutes. And it's important just that we get clear on the steps that we can physically take right now, today. Just getting clear on them. And knowing that as we shift into this great conjunction and this new shift of like communal reality and this new year, especially on the winter solstice, that it's such a grand shift that we are about to undergo all together. And what just came up for me is that I think what can resonate with all of us is keeping our inner dialogues clean. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on externally if we're not internally just as clean or reflective or supportive of self. So really being intentional with how we are speaking to ourselves and affirming our realities, you know. So as we finish that one up, we have officially gone through just being intentional with our chakras, and now we can work with them on a physical level when we do some breath work. So if you haven't done breath work, I would strongly advise you start implementing it into your routines. This breath work is a little bit less intense. I've done breath work where I've left the room feeling very dizzy and like unaware of who I was. So this is going to be a little bit more lighthearted and just like focused on the energy centers that we just worked with. So the only thing I ask is that your spine be straight be completely erect so that we are able to work through the chakra channels easily. If you're watching this live or on the replay, all I ask, not all I ask, but typically when I'm doing meditations, I would advise that you lay down, but when we're doing this kind of chakra work, I would say that you stay sitting up because it'll be easier for you to actually maneuver the physical movement. But yeah, now that we've gotten clear on steps that we need to take and the ways in which the universe is supporting that, let's just find ourselves back to center. Can move out any kinks that have maybe gotten a bit stiff from the writing that we've done. Oh, child, you heard that. We can bring ourselves back to a comfortable seating position, closing the eyes. And connecting back to our core, to our centers. Taking one deep, deep breath in. Holding it at the top. And sighing it out. Taking another deep breath in. Holding it at the top. And sighing it out. Allow yourself to just feel in your body for a moment. Thanking this divine vessel for carrying you, housing you, loving you back. Bringing our awareness internally. Let's start off at our root and sacral chakras, located on the base of our spines and right below the navel. This red and orange energy center. Visualize the combination of what makes fire. The flames burning within you and fanning your passions, fanning the birth of new ideas of the physical, what we experience on a 3D level. And fittingly, the name of the breath we're going to work with is breath of fire. So what this looks like, and I'll show you, is the pumping of the navel. And it's funny because I have red and orange on, but we're going to be going either through an O-shaped mouth or through our nose. So palms facing up, bringing our awareness to the fiery orange and red located at the base of our spines. And right below the navel, begin to pump. Either through your mouth or through your nose. And affirm to yourself, I am worthy of physically experiencing my dreams. I am the creator of my reality. I am the maker of my experience. I'm giving birth to new ideas. Keep it going, breathing as deeply and as forward as you possibly can. Almost done. Taking one deep breath in. Holding it in the space we just worked in. Squeezing your root lock, squeezing. Sighing it out. Letting go. Relishing in that for just a moment. Know that we are all of the elements, and the elements work with us. Earth, water, air, and fire. Fire is what fuels our passions, our desires, our drive. Bring our awareness upwards to the solar plexus located in the mid-abdomen. This is our yellow energy center. And this is how we experience our action. This is where we are seen, how we show up, how we are received, how we present ourselves. The solar plexus is our mirror to the collective. And so, what breathing intentionally with our solar plexus looks like is moving our abdomen in a circular motion. So it looks like, so doing the in-breath as it goes around, and the out-breath as it comes back in. Visualizing not only the color yellow, but basically just like harnessing the sun in our mid-abdomen. This masculine energy, really moving it internally. Breathing in. This can be through the nose if that feels more comfortable. Visualizing yellow, affirming that I am showing up as my highest and best self. Affirming that I am confident and I am capable. Affirming that how I show up is up to me. Affirming that I am embodying my authentic expression. And when you're ready, you can shift the clockwise energy once you've been going. So switching positions, words to Ariana Grande. Affirming that I am power. As we move, we turn any stagnancy into energy, into magic, knowing that you are your own alchemist. Affirming that I take inspired action. When you're ready on these last few, be as intentional as you can. Before coming back into center, breathing fully into the abdomen. Holding it, visualizing this yellow energy bursting at the seams. As you sigh it out, spreading it off throughout your body. And caving in. Allow yourself to just feel for a moment. How does yellow feel? Do you feel inspired? Ready to plan out the best life you can live? Ready to present yourself as the best you could be? And finally, bringing our awareness to the crowns of our head, the Crown Chakra. This is a deeply royal purple energy center. It's our connection to everything and all that is, to our highest self, to the God that lives within us. It's our connection to the universe, to the cosmos, to the same matter that's found in our body that makes up the stars. What breathing into our crown chakra looks like is bringing our hands to prayer center, breathing up and out, breathing back up and out. And when we do this, I want you to really root yourself in visualizing this royal and magical purple that connects you to everything and all that is. Breathing in and out. See the energy moving out of you and around you, encompassing you. Affirm that I'm connected and divinely supported. Seeing the purple move out of your head and all around your body, affirm that I am my highest self. Breathe in fully, breathe out fully. Know that you are divinely protected, guided, supported. Knowing that you can always come back to your own energy. Be as intentional as you can with these last ones. Breathing through any stagnancy in your auric field. Last one. Coming back to center, breathing in fully. Holding as you feel the vibrations of your crown resonate and reverberate. And breathe out fully. Let's just sit in this stillness for a moment. And you always have yourself. And you always have your choices. Choose the reality, choose the self, choose the community, choose the projects, choose the thoughts that support your inner and outer evolution. Thank yourself for showing up today, for doing the necessary work to be intentional, to being part of community, and to being the best possible expression of self. Begin to move your physical vessel. Thank you so much for spending your morning with me. If you feel called to donate, if you haven't already, all of that information is in the bio. And if you have, you cannot possibly understand how grateful I am, truthfully. I'm going to be leading this every Monday. And like I said, if you can't donate, it's still absolutely available to you. It's just a moment for us to all kind of come together and start our weeks off with intention and understanding how we are being divinely supported in that intention. The lunar cycles and the transits and the planets are always either taking away something we don't need or encouraging us to replace it with something that we do need. As long as we heed the energies, we will always be in alignment. And that's just the case. But I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you so much. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys join next week or catch me online, LayaLuna.tv, LayaLuna.tv on Instagram, or Jazmin Kylene. And otherwise, I hope you guys have an incredible week. Be intentional with the rest of your day. Fill out the rest of the prompts if you didn't get to fully. And really relish in this. Hi, thank you so much for joining. Really relish in this new moon energy. It's palpable. But yes, I love you all. Have a good one. Oh, how do I end? Oh.